Good morning, everybody, and welcome to day 2 of your 3-day video series. I hope you got some value out of yesterday, and I got some great messages. So clearly, it resonated with a few of you, which is good to know. And I've got today and tomorrow to impart some more wisdom, which is what today's pillar is all about, which is staying wise and I guess creating wisdom. And what is it? And how do we absolutely learn to apply it in our life? And why I say absolutely is because if we can learn it, we can master it. And think about, a dabbler, a high achiever, and a master. When we talk about self-mastery, it's about understanding, well, how do I see this world? And how can I ensure that I'm looking at it the right way? And how can I learn the great lessons? And how can I ensure that my wisdom is actually serving me? Because education doesn't always recognize wisdom. You can be really intelligent and be very unwise. True. You've probably met intelligent people that are very smart academically, but aren't very wise in how they live their lives. And wisdom is based around experience, but it's also based around listening and learning to trust who you are. So that's the first thing I want you to write down. Start to trust who you are. Because if you don't allow yourself to trust yourself, then how do you ever back yourself in to know that your wisdom is correct? Because quite often we listen to other people, or we take other people's advice, and we kind of get caught up in this rat race of just doing it because other people said we should, and that's the way they would like us to do it. But wisdom is also about listening to who you are. Hello, Danielle. What are you grateful for today? I hope you're having a good morning. If you are jumping on this call at any point, what are you grateful for and where are you listening from? But as I get into this, I want you to think about awareness. Awareness always precedes change. True? Awareness precedes change. So if we want to change the things in our life that aren't serving us, we've got to be aware of what they are. Because you're not aware of what they are, it's very hard to change. And that's, again, why wisdom is important. Because the better you get at being more aware, the more wise we become. Wisdom comes from having a great level of self-awareness because it allows you to see this world differently. Remember this. We don't see the world as it is. We see the world as we are. We do not see the world as it is. We see the world as we are. So as we turn up the level of awareness and wisdom in our life, the world that we look at will start to change. The relationships we have will start to change. The things that we thought about as one way will start to change. And why is that? Well, you're going to rethink how you think. I know it's a bit, Well, what does that mean? Rethink how you think. And think about that for a second. Let that sink in, really. You've got to rethink how you think. Because you never really think about that, do you? Like, how am I thinking? And why it's so important, because we call thinking errors. And write it down for me. It's called a thinking error. Most people have faulty programming with the way they think. Quite often we're thinking about why we're not good enough, why do people hurt me, why am I not beautiful, why am I not smart enough, why don't I have enough money, why don't I have that dream job, why is my health so out of whack? And we constantly have these things, what I call thinking errors. And then constantly comparing ourselves to others, having such high level of expectations, the happiness trap, chasing that next thing and that next thing. This is what I call a thinking error. And that's why you have to think about this. Rethink the way that you think. Not thinking about how someone else is thinking. Rethink the way that you think. Because then you can start to do this. And I'm a big believer in this, and we coach it in all our programs, about the questions that you ask yourself. When you ask yourself poor questions, you get poor answers. When you ask yourself shitty questions, you get shitty answers. But when we look at awareness and we raise our level of awareness and we tap into, well, why are we thinking that way? Then we can actually ask ourselves better questions, which is, what's the lesson? What do I need to know? How can I tap into making a better choice? And why this is important is because it's called alignment. And I want you to write the word down for me, alignment. When we are aligned with our heart, our head and our gut. And when we are in alignment, that's when we are in flow. And I want you to write this word down, when we're in a flow state. That is wisdom. When we are in flow, when things are working for us, when we are working as one with ourselves. Our head, our heart, and our gut. And they all play different roles in our life. Your mind is an incredible thinking, programming, associating, storytelling component. Your heart is that love, compassion, and empathy. And your gut is that courage, that intuition. And if you think about wisdom, which one do you think we should listen to more? It's a good question. If you think about wisdom, do you reckon we should be listening to our head, our heart, or gut more? That question's on notice for you right now. I'd just love you to type into the chat section. G'day, Stevie. Nice to see you. Hello, Mrs. Butler. How's New Zealand going? I would love you to let me know which one, and they all have a level of wisdom to listen to, but which one do you reckon we should tap into more in life? Our head, our heart, and our gut. I reckon there's one that we don't use at all. And if you think about it in a second when I explain it to you, it will show you that wisdom is such a powerful tool in every single day life. As I mentioned, alignment. It allows us to ask better questions. Why do people always hurt me? Why do people let me down? Why am I not good enough? Why don't I have enough money? Why don't I have enough purpose and passion in my life? And quite often we actually don't ever take responsibility for where we are in our life. That's staying wise. Wisdom is, who do I need to become? And I want you to write it down. A great question to become more wise is, who do I need to become? Who do I need to become to get more wise in this? Who do I need to become to create more wisdom in my life? I'm just going to read these. Gut, 100%. That is where so much of our wisdom comes from, does it not? Your mind is full of tricks. And I would like you to write this down as well. It's your ego, your mind's dirty little tricks. I say it all the time. Your mind's dirty little tricks, because your mind is constantly playing tricks on you. You don't know if it's actually looking after you or not. It tells you horrible things. It tells you that you're not good enough. It beats you up for how you look. It criticizes you for when you make a mistake. Your mind is not always the most trustful thing when you think about wisdom. But one thing that always allows us to is alignment with our gut, which is intuition. Have you ever had a moment in your life before when you knew your gut was telling you something and you went against it? Like a gut feeling about a person, about a business venture, about something that was happening in your family and your health and your finances, and you knew something didn't feel right. I definitely have. Many, many times I have not listened to my intuition and my gut feeling about something. And every time I've gone away from my gut feeling, quite often it hasn't ended well for me. Because your body, your nervous system, your sense of self has a great reference point for what is right, what is wrong, what is wise, what is not. And we have to get better at listening to our gut. Understanding that our intuition around how we feel about things matters. The people that we want to work with, the people that we get in relationships with, the people that we decide to trust. That thing is being wise. It's learning to trust it. And we cannot truly trust ourselves to make good decisions if we don't learn how to trust in who we are. Please write it down. It is very hard to learn how to trust our decisions in life if we do not learn how to trust who we are. And that is different. Trusting in who you are is different to trusting in your choices. Your choices are stemming from who you are. So you've got to get that internal trust right, to know that you're going to listen to these things to allow you to make better choices, to stay more wise. And it does not mean that you're not going to make a mistake and not get it wrong. It just means that you're better equipped, you're better aware, and you're listening to not just your mind. And again, your mind's powerful, but you've got to listen to your mind, your heart, and your gut if you want to be wise. Which leads me into today's 3 takeaways for today's call about how can you generate, more wisdom in your life. Well, number 1 is get some good mentors. For me personally, I've got incredible mentors in my life, and it's how you see a mentor that's important. My mum is my greatest mentor when it comes to human compassion. I don't think I've ever met a more compassionate, loving, empathetic, kind human being in my whole life. She's smothered me with empathy and compassion my whole life, and she's allowed me to learn it, to know that being compassionate is a learnt skill, and the more you do it, the better you get, and that is wisdom. To apply most things. You know what being wise is around compassion is, what would love do and what would love say? That's a good question. What would love do and what would love say? My mum has shown me that by the way she's treated me time and time again. So get good mentors. I have great coaches in business. I have great coaches in my speaking career. I have great coaches in my health. I have great coaches in my finances. Get mentors to help you in different aspects of your life. You can't do it all by yourself. And remember, they will have their own wisdom about the things that they've gone through, the challenges that they've had, the hardships that they've overcome. A great mentor is very wise. Find them, seek them out, learn from them. Take their wisdom and make it yours. And they will help you do this. They're very powerful. Great mentors help you with your mind, do they not? They help you stay on point, which is if you change the way you look at something, what you look at changes. A great mentor can help us change the way we look at our problems, change the way that we look at our failure, change the way that we've been living our lives by the way we see it. They're very, very powerful. And then the next one, get curious. This is what I don't see people do enough. You've got to get curious. And we run from curiosity because we love certainty. We don't want to know why. We just understand what is happening right in front of us. Like, what is happening? I don't have enough money. What is happening? My health's not where it is. What's happening? I don't have any purpose. Get curious around your life. Explore why you feel this way. Explore your emotions. Explore your life. Explore your challenges. Explore your heartbreak. Explore your mistakes. Get curious. It's one of the greatest things that you can do in this life. Greatest things is to get curious about asking yourself why. Why is my partner acting that way? Why are my friends acting that way? Why am I feeling this way? Why am I doing this? It's a great way to get curious, to start exploring who you are, because that in itself is where you will find so much wisdom. There is so much wisdom already in you. I always say this to people, and I fundamentally believe it's so true. If you want expert advice, go ask the person in the mirror. If you want expert advice, go ask the person in the mirror. Because sometimes we are constantly looking for other people to validate how we feel, how we think, and what we do. But sometimes we already know the answer. We just got to go in. And going in is getting curious, asking yourself better questions, exploring that. And as I finish up, working on backing your intuition. Actually practice it. You have to practice it to be able to trust it. So next time you feel it, back it. See where it takes you. See where it goes. See what the outcome is. And the more you start to back your intuition, the voice becomes stronger. I know that my intuition is such a big part of what I do. Every decision I make around business, health, career, finances, relationships, my intuition's part of the conversation. You've got to rethink how you think about your life. You've got to look at how you are asking yourself better questions, growing your level of awareness, and making sure you trust in yourself to be able to trust in the process of making good choices. Big love to you all. Until tomorrow, look after yourselves, and I'll see you then. Bye-bye.